Hello. In this video, I'm going to go through my own LinkedIn profile and share with you some highlights that I feel are very important in order to have a LinkedIn profile that seems up to date and relevant. So let's start first with your profile URL. So if you click on me and then view profile, you will see on the top of the browser that what is your LinkedIn profile URL. So a lot of people are leaving this link to be automatically generated by LinkedIn, and then they end up with something like yotatro12345 or whatever is the random thing that came up from LinkedIn. Ideally, we want this to be just your name. And let me show you very quickly how you can do that. So if you go on the top right and you click Edit Public Profile and URL, you click here, and then again on the top right, it says edit your custom URL. So you're clicking on there, and then you're typing your name and then your surname. If you have a really common name and surname, then maybe you want to add a dash or a number or something just to make it basically a little bit different. So there you might need to do a couple of tweaks until you find a URL that is unique to you. And then you click on save. Then going back to my LinkedIn profile, I want to start with the top, and that is the header image. So a lot of people are leaving that blank, and that kind of looks like you don't really care and you didn't really put your attention into your LinkedIn profile, which is probably what's really happening here. But we want that header is the first impression that people will get when they open our LinkedIn profile. So along with our profile photo, this image is what they're going to see. And I feel this is a great opportunity to already give some personality to your profile. So here I suggest to my clients to either use a header that might be something around their company and slogan that the company might have, or sometimes it might be something that really resonates with you. Like in my case, I have a phrase that I really believe and live by, and something that I'm talking a lot about. So it's about confidence and leadership, etc. Some other people, they might just use a photo that reflects an area that they're really interested in. For example, I had a client that loved books and learning. She was a communication manager. So as a background, she found an artistic photo of a number of books, and that looked really well. So here it doesn't necessarily need to be something very specific. It can also be a little bit of abstract, but make sure that it's something that is already giving a sense of who you are and what you care about. The second thing is about your profile photo. So here, ideally, we want a professionally taken photo. We do not like to have a selfie or something from your holidays where you have a background with beads and stuff like that. We tend to see that quite a lot. If you are not able to get a professional photo taken, at least try to find a photo that looks as professional as possible. We don't want it to look too serious, so you don't need to wear a suit and glasses and stuff like that. We actually, what we want is when people see your profile photo and then they will see you in real life, they will recognize you. So if you are someone that doesn't dress very casual, very formally, and you prefer more a casual look with t-shirts, that is totally fine. That can be your profile photo on LinkedIn. Just make sure that you have a plain background on the back. Ideally, if you have like a color that's standing out, and maybe it can be one of your favorite colors, that is the ideal scenario. Then continue with the description. So again, a lot of people here, they just put their job title, but I'm sure there are so many more things that you can talk about. So here for me, I put my job title, then my community, then some of the companies that I have worked, like ex-Amazon, for example, with 15 years in tech. This is adding credibility. So if you have in your CV some companies that are really standing out, you can also add it there just to attract people's attention. Then for me as a coach, it is really important my MSc and showing that I have like a serious background of education around coaching and positive psychology. That's why I put it in there. For you, that might not be relevant, but what might be relevant is you might be mentor, or you might volunteering in something, or you might be really passionate about D&I, about leadership, or about empowering women, about empowering equality, about neurodiversity, curiosity, whatever is your passion, you can add it in your headline, because again, it's adding a little bit of personality and is giving a sense to what you really care about. The other thing that is also important is making sure that you add your location, especially if you're looking for a job. The location feature is allowing recruiters to search based on where you are. Then I will skip these sections, and the next section that I want to talk about is the About section. So here is your opportunity to talk a little bit more about yourself, to let people know what you're interested in, what you're passionate about, what we might be looking for. So give it a little bit of thought and add a few information about yourself there. The types of things that I am recommending for my clients to see, again, this could be a whole new video about what we're writing in this section, but at least I want to give you a few tips that you can begin with. So first of all, you need to write about what is your area of expertise. The second one is writing about what is your USP, your unique selling proposition. And I want to elaborate a little bit on that. What does that mean? That means if I bring different elements of your education, of your experience, of your culture together, where all this meet. For example, if I take my own profile, the things that make me stand out from other coaches are being a software engineer and having a background in tech, having studied positive psychology and coaching, and having created a community about diversity and inclusion. So if I bring these three things together, my profile becomes quite different from other coaches out there. So I want you to think, what are the things that you're bringing on the table that they are quite unique to you? The exercises that I have in my personal brand playbook, they can give you a little bit of more insights and can help you figure out what these things are. And then the fourth thing that is quite important is a call to action. So, for example, if you want people to contact you for potential opportunities, if you want people to contact you for speaking opportunities, like you want to be a speaker in a conference, on a panelist, then write down a sentence about that and give them your email. Of course, they can find it through the contact info link, but make it more easy for you. So for me, what I wrote is just a simple message: want to connect, drop me a message or email me at, and then my email. Then going to the experience section. So here, remember that your LinkedIn profile is not your CV. So you do not need to have all the information that you would put in your CV in there. You just want to give people enough highlights that they will be interested in you, and then they want to contact you or they want to give you a call. What I'm recommending here, besides like the job title and the company, is also adding a couple of sentences about what are the key things that you bring in your role. So if I get you to think, if you would describe the biggest impact that you have within your role in a couple of sentences, what would these sentences be? And then just write down these sentences. It is important to give a little bit of context about our roles. First of all, because different roles, they have different meanings in different companies. So for example, a head of role can be in a company like Amazon can be very different from head of something in a small startup. So give a little bit of context if you're leading a team. What are the types of things and what is the main area of focus? What is your biggest impact in your job? Of course, education, licenses and certification, volunteering opportunities, skills, all these are quite important, and make sure that you have them up to date. But the area I want to highlight again is the recommendations. So if you are looking for a job, the best way for people to get a sense how it is working with you is based on what other people are saying. That's why referrals are so important. So the same thing happens through LinkedIn as well. So here, the recommendation section is giving you a chance to actually let other people say how it is the experience of working with you, what is the impact that you brought in their organization and their teams. And this is really important. People tend to do that only when they're looking for a job, and then suddenly they're going around their network and they're asking them for recommendations. But I highly recommend you to do that proactively and start building up more and more recommendations in your profile. A tip I have for you here is that instead of just clicking on the plus sign, and then you do ask for a recommendation, and you just type the type of the person that you want to speak to and click send. Give them a little bit of context around what is it that you're looking for. So is it, for example, how it's been the experience of working with you? Is it about the impact? Is it about your personality? So give them a little bit of insight around what is it that you want them to write about. Make it easy for them, and don't leave them there having to think too much, because if you do not give specific guidelines or even some suggestions, then you're not sure that you're actually going to want to get the type of recommendation that you need and will make an impact on your profile. And the last thing I want to talk about, again, really briefly in this video, is about your activity. So again, within the playbook, there are a lot of exercises that can help you figure out what types of things to talk about. And if if it's about writing a blog, it's about talking about participating in an event. Here, there are some low-hanging fruits that I want you to think about. So if you're not a confident writer, if you're not confident in doing videos, that doesn't matter. You can still start generating some activity on your LinkedIn profile. So some of the topics that you could really write about is, are you going in a conference as an attendee? You can say, hey, I'm attending this amazing conference. These are the details if you want to register. Have you read an article and you really like the article? Research the article, add a couple of comments on why this article was great. What did you love about that? Why did you find it interesting? Or maybe even what questions came up for you while you were reading that. The third thing is engage with other people's profiles. So you can like, you can comment. So just make yourself visible to other people. And it doesn't matter if you still haven't figured out your personal brand, who you are, what are the main topics that you want to talk about. There are some things that you can still post and start creating a little bit of activity until you actually figure out your whole brand. I hope this video is useful. If you have not downloaded yet my personal brand playbook, you can do it in the link below. And good luck with starting building your personal brand. I know that's not an easy journey, and for a lot of us it can be really intimidating sharing and putting ourselves up there. But believe me, whether you are looking for progress in your career, whether you are looking into adding a bit more passion at the things you do, personal brand and building your personal brand more intentionally can make a huge difference, and it can open up so many opportunities for you. Thank you for being here.